Studying abroad can be a life changing experience, but it brings so many questions. Where should we go? What should we study? And which of the countries are providing the best opportunities for international students? To answer all of these questions, we have a very special guest today with us. She carries 18 years of experience in education industry. I am having today in my show Alyona Scholze. Welcome to our show and thank you so much for coming.
Hi, my name is Alyona Scholze, and I'm an associate global sales director at LCI Group, where I primarily manage EMEA, Pakistan, and Southeast Asia. And today, I'm really grateful for this opportunity today, and really excited about this conversation.
Thank you so much for coming, and I will say thanks to Rukhma Shahid for arranging all these things. Thank you, Rukhma, if you're listening us. And my first question is that since you're in Pakistan, so how is your experience with Pakistan? What do you like about Pakistan?
That's an interesting question. So it's my second time within 6 months. First time I came for a couple of days and I didn't get to experience much. And this time we, besides having an event, which we are really looking forward to having tomorrow. So my favorite part so far have been seeing our partner agents. I think hospitality in Pakistan is unmatched. I believe that I might need to end up having an extra bag because I've got full so many different items and genuinely beautiful stuff. And people are so kind, warm, welcoming, generous. I feel that next time I need to come for at least another week to meet everyone.
Yes, you always need more time to stay in
Absolutely,
Pakistan.
yeah.
So what about food? What did you like the most in Pakistan?
Now, I can't say that I'm a fan of the spiciest food. However, what I do like here a lot is fresh vegetables, because obviously in the UK, the quality of vegetables and flavor not as rich as here. So I've been having tons of salads. So I love that.
So you are in a foodie culture. So I hope you have enjoyed your food here in
Yeah,
Pakistan.
I'm absolutely a foodie, and I think that's one of my favorite parts of traveling around the world and being so privileged and lucky to visit those places. So 100%.
Since you have 18 years of experience in education industry, can you tell us in detail that how did you start it and what do you like about this role?
I think I can talk for 40 minutes just about that. Actually, going back to my experience or like how I got into this industry and profession, I come from an educator's background. So my dad is a school vice head or vice principal, and my mom is also in education. So when it came time for me to choose my profession, I had a couple options really. So go into teaching career. And I wanted specifically to maximize like my English extra classes that my parents been paying for, or journalism, which I really loved. So actually having flashbacks at the moment. And then my mom said, listen, since you paid so much money for your extra classes in English, why don't you proceed with the teaching career and become an English teacher? So, and then eventually when I moved to the UK, I didn't quite know what to do. But I knew that I always want to stay in education because I really feel that this does give you satisfaction, and in fact, give you an incredible social capital because
It's the most honored job that you can.
It's truly incredible because at the moment, for example, I've traveled thanks to this job in 18 years. I've traveled pretty much all over the world. I met so many incredible people. Let's just say. Pakistan is not like a place where you come for holiday, for example, right? So today and yesterday, I've been making so many videos, sharing with everyone, and it's really nice. Like you kind of break through certain stereotypes, and I think it's that's one of the like loveliest things. But also due to this experience, I've made friends all over the world, and truly, some people are not just colleagues or ex-colleagues. You can follow them in the future when if you want to change your job. To my boss, I'm not changing the job at the moment, for sure, don't worry. But realistically speaking, so there are lots of other opportunities which you can utilize. And also even the students, right? There's so many grateful students that, again, you never know. You might need a reference or network in the future.
Of
And that's also
course.
come in very handy.
It's always an ongoing
Yeah.
experience. Yeah.
And also for myself, because even though I've lived in the UK now for 18 years and I've been in the industry for 18 years, I come from a different place myself, right? So that just shows that even though you're from different background, if you are persistent enough, if you're energetic, if you're enthusiastic, and if you're really hardworking, and if you know what you do, I guess, then doors are open again. So I've got hold quite a big job, right?
Yeah.
You could say in the company. So loads of people I hear question like whether if you're from different background, is it possible to really find anything office like
you're a
or
live
about that?
example for
So yeah,
that,
yeah. So
yes.
I think that really works, and I always would like to even encourage people to really think and what you want to do and have a bit of a plan. Things won't always go as per a plan,
Yeah, of
but as long as
course.
you know approximately what you want to do, you can develop and seek opportunities that would ultimately would lead you to the results you're after.
That's great. It's nice to hear about the versatile experience that you have in education industry. Let's talk about LCI Group. If you can introduce that, what
Of
is the
course, yeah.
mission of LCI Group and how it is empowering the international students to get international education?
Absolutely. So LCI Group initially started in China 13 years ago. And just before COVID, so the founder of the company, he's of Chinese origin, but he just studied it in Australia. He decided to move to Australia with his family because his kids were to get very specific education he was after. And he decided to open up Oceania region. And then after Oceania, it was South Asia, EMEA, etc. So it expanded. So
Yeah.
as an organization, we might not be as known as some of competitors, but in fact, we are one of the trailblazers when it comes to UK education. Because as you know, obviously, when you talk about Russell Group and schools of much higher quality, China leads it, right? So as a result, at the moment, when we talk about really quality schools, we have two to 500 students in some schools per year.
Great.
So genuinely, so even though yes, UK destination is our prime destination because we know it so well, and we've been doing it for such a long time, and we are one of the key agents for most UK institutions. We also offer other destinations, such as, of course, Australia, New Zealand, where our owner is based, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, and Europe. And primarily in Europe at the moment, in Pakistan, Germany is all the rage.
Yeah.
Despite certain maybe difficulties, but I hear that, and it's very different from last year. And in fact, I also find out that even Dubai also getting tracking for the same.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so let's start with a very generic discussion. What benefits do you think studying abroad can bring for students? Let's say I am a student, and what factors should I consider in terms of my success when I think about studying abroad?
There are a few things to take into consideration. One, of course, is multicultural awareness.
Great.
I think that you would really struggle to
Yeah.
get it when you're just in a
True.
homogeneous country. And I think that if you're ever planning, even here, to work in an international company, again, so if for example, a company that you work at here and of different origin, it's really important to understand how to collaborate with other departments if they're based elsewhere. So that's one thing. Second thing, I believe, again, any institution gives you a kind of social aspect, which leads to networking.
Yeah.
So I would say that when you think about education, you really need to assess your academic ability, but also your financial ability, and choose the best that you have. Because, say, if you are able to get Russell Group or Ivy League, of course, the quality of the potential networking in the future is irreplaceable.
Yes.
Right?
True.
So because these people are going to be working all over the world, you never know where they're going to be working, and it's up. No money can buy that.
Of course.
That's number one. Number two, you also think about professions, because I feel that in Pakistan, especially, because the decision makers or sponsors, parents, right? And parents tend to choose professions that are very traditional
Yes.
and been in the market for a long time.
Okay, coming to the next question, what are some popular destination on the panel of LCA Group that you offer for students wishing to study abroad?
So as a company, besides the big four, which is mentioned previously, UK, Canada, US, Australia, New Zealand, we also offer other destinations. In Europe, we have quite a range, but for Pakistani students in particular, at the moment, Germany is something they're after, and we find we have also quite a lot of really good institutions with exclusive discounts to us only. So even if the students listening to us now and they thought, okay, I'll write it down, go there directly, they will never get as good as a discount as they would get
That's a
going
great
with
option. Yeah.
LCI, right? So that's really great, up to 20% exclusive discounts, so which is fantastic. But we also have other destinations such as Malta, Cyprus, Turkey, Mauritius, Singapore, Dubai. So generally quite a range of institutions.
That's great.
Again, so it depends if students are really open-minded to those, but I find it really takes much longer for
Yeah,
Pakistani
market
students.
is actually emerging. Students are looking for
Longer,
new
yeah. So there is a
destinations.
slight delay
Yeah.
compared to other destinations, I find.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of that is going to be for next year. But for this year, I hear like with us, it's primarily going to be Germany, Dubai. I still think it's a really good destination. And for next year, I think like it's more intensively or extensively rather, it's going to be a bit over West and East Europe.
That's great. Okay, let's see things from students' perspective. What factors, as an education expert, do you think a student should consider while deciding the destination to study?
Okay. So first of all, what I've been observing as well, so Pakistan is one of those markets that tend to rely on their friends' opinion, right?
Yeah.
So even when you talk about not even study destination, but even university. So someone comes in and says, oh, well, I've got two friends who went there. I want to go to the same place. Now you really have to think what's really good for you. What's really of interest to you. So besides university, your grades might be better.
Of course.
Your grades might be lower, right? Do you have family members there? Because again, that make your life much easier. Have a look at the budget, like what are living expenses there,
And where you can
right?
get more value for
Right.
money. Yeah.
So that's number one. And number two, I would also suggest that I find that it's best to work with agents such as Edworld, right? So to get information that is more authentic and unique, and where student is at the heart of the decision-making process, right? Because again, so I rather than just getting somewhere cheap without like kind of an English test, so really try to get the best for you, and really get involved in research, because it's your future,
Yeah, of
and
course.
rather than just, as I said, like rely on someone else. So once you have that in place, have a look also at departments, right? So maybe you can't get into this university, but do extensive research and see maybe this particular subject you're after is still like top 100, top 200 in that country. So and ideally, even besides being or despite being South Asian student, where everything is last minute, try to plan in advance.
Of course.
Because at the moment, some institutions or some courses might be filled up much sooner, and again, so what we're seeing a lot is very, very last minute applications.
Yeah.
So just to do it a bit in advance.
So, my dear students, the key takeaway is that there is no destination who can fit the need of everyone. Different people have different perspective and different needs. So you need to do research, as our guest said, that you need to do research that which of the destinations serve the best purpose that you are looking for. Coming next, what services do LCI Group provide to the students or through agents to the students to study abroad?
Well, primarily, our purpose is to assist you, right,
Yeah.
by offering a wider platform of various institutions, because we have access to 1,200 institutions worldwide, right? Of course, not all of them open to Pakistani students, but many are. So what makes us different, or what differentiates us, is that first of all, we have our quality assurance.
Great.
So, which is really important. Also, we only work with quality students. And how do we measure that? We measure this through capping applications from all agents. So, which means that for a certain number of applications, we need to get conversion. If conversion doesn't happen, we would prefer not
So
to work with
it
partner.
ensures the
So
good
it ensures
quality
the good
of
quality
this.
of agents,
Of
right?
course.
And again, I forgot to mention at the beginning that I come with 18 years of experience, but 15 years of experience were at university side, right?
Great.
So, and 2.5 years at this company, and where I am now, right? So, because I spend so much time on the other side, for me, the primary focus, and for my team, is to get students into university. So enrollment is a key focus.
Yes,
And for this reason, we from our side, what we can do and how we can support. We run extensive number of webinars for different study destinations, for different programs, including those where we would give you an opportunity, you and your student, if you wish so. I know that Pakistani agents might be a bit hesitant of bringing students with them, but in some cases we can do it specifically just for you, or you can bring them to sessions where they can speak to our our university partners, and they can ask all the questions directly. I think what's the better opportunity?
Of course.
Because, you or I, nobody will be able to answer in depth to
Of course.
such, right? And not all the sessions are going to be necessarily with someone based in Pakistan. Some sessions are with global heads as well. So you can answer more interesting questions. And the same as student ambassador.
Yeah.
So I would suggest when we have sessions with student ambassadors, or when we have sessions that do live campus tours, those are really important to attend, because everyone can show anything on, a perfect picture on the internet,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
Perfectly manufactured. But
Yeah.
when you actually get to see, someone walks around and you see through that, that's a very different perspective.
Of course it is. Coming to the next question, I know that LCI Group have so many universities on their panel. Few of the universities that you can mention offering partial scholarship, or you feel that they are in the E category of LCI Group. So you can mention few universities so our audience can have the idea that if we want to apply in this university, we need to go through LCI Group.
Okay, so we do have strategic global partners. So their partners work with particular close. So that's including foundations and universities. That would be CEG, LMU, Brunel, and SREC, and Macromedia. So that's in Germany. So, but we have really, really wide range. And for this reason, we have a team on the ground. That's another one of our
Distinguished
secret
factor.
tools.
Yeah.
Secret tools. And we have two team members, actually, one based in Lahore, one in Karachi. So your viewers can contact any of our any of our staff on the ground, be able to assist with that. So because as I said, we have quite an extensive number of scholarships or exclusive discounts.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we can approach your representatives to know
Absolutely.
about the details of those scholarships. Okay. So coming to next question, I will take this liberty to ask the question from an education expert. What do you think are job prospects after completion of degree from UK, Australia, or Canada, or any country? Who do you think that is the best in terms of offering the job opportunities?
You mean abroad or coming back home?
I will definitely mean abroad.
Yeah. So there are prospects, of course. They're not lying on the ground, right? So you're not going to easily find it unless you're looking for it. So UK as a market, there are plenty of jobs, actually jobs as such, right? So I mean, not necessarily talking like professional, but even during your student time, you can easily support yourself if you wish to do so,
Of
right?
course,
That's one of the key
your
things.
wish is the first.
That's
key,
one of
yeah.
the key things. So
Yeah.
some students not always use those opportunities. For example, pretty much each institution has career department, right? So I would always suggest that do work with them closely. So one of the things that at the moment many students do not use is maybe like CV writing services, right? Because it's very important to use those. So you don't know
very
like which
important, yeah.
keywords to use or how to position yourself.
Or how to do research about the company.
How to research
and all.
about the company? Because actually, besides my sales role,
Yes.
there are two other aspects of my that I do. One is I work closely with our British partner institutions because I'm based in UK, right? I'm based in Brighton in UK, and I go to a lot of events. That's number one. And number two is I visit a lot of institutions as well. So we like for marketing purposes. What I find a lot, even when I go to various events, and there are alumni or current students, and I ask them like, so how is it doing? Are you mingling here? Are you networking? They're just sitting there. I was like,
Yes.
why are you here? You're here and you're invited, get in.
Yeah.
And sometimes they facilitate and do introductions. And I think it's really lovely because, in fact, I helped one person to get a job while I was there.
Yes, of
And they got a job and been promoted within even
Yeah.
first year.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and I just stay in touch with them. So, and I think it's really brilliant because you need to be proactive.
Yeah.
Another thing that I find it's a really big gap. Universities it's not only a platform for academic learning, it's a platform for soft skills learning. And soft skills, I would say, especially if you come from such a different background, is as important as academic skills, right?
Of course.
So you need to identify or maybe find yourself a mentor who would be able to guide you and suggest what to do.
Mentors are important if you want to have success.
100%, right? Especially someone who understands the culture, who understands the job market. Connect with those people. We really actively use LinkedIn. Follow people on LinkedIn. Network. If there are any other opportunities in person, like for example, job fairs, attend those job fairs, and be proactive. And I find that yes, it's very difficult to come out of your shell and ask for those things, or like be proactive. But believe me, people will remember you more than someone just
Of
sends
course.
CV. And also, like even what I find, because again, I employ lots of
Yeah,
people for my
yeah,
team,
yeah.
international team. I find there is a big issue or perception of how to do things. Maybe like they do it in a different way. The same, for example, CV, right? In a CV, you would highlight your accomplishments, but most people would just like job description and that's it. So, so it's just some small things that would definitely help you to stand out.
Little steps can turn
Yeah.
into huge
And soft
success.
skills plenty because like you also can get some unpaid jobs or like even small jobs say within student services for 2-3 months to work on those particular skills. But again, you need to advocate for yourself. You need to be like really you would hear the word proactive, enthusiastic from me many times, but you really need to be out there. And again, do not waste your time, right, while you're
Yeah,
there,
it's
but use
important.
use it wisely. So networking, and filling up
PR
the
and
gaps.
networking is key. Soft skill is key to get job. It's not about only university. Okay, at the final stage of our interview, I will request you to give a final tip to our students. Those are looking to study abroad and they are just thinking to find out the best universities. Any single one-liner advice that you can give to students?
Can I have a minute for this? Single line of advice. Studying abroad and making a very brave step to leave everything familiar behind is really could be distressing at times, and I totally understand that. But I would really suggest that once you made that brave step and made the decision, you focus on your goal, you visualize it, and you really keep it like etched in your brain at all times. You would have loads of factors and lots of challenges in your life, right, including from people next to you, even your friends or people maybe you potentially even come along with, right? But as long as you know why you're doing it and what you're doing it for, and you make sure that everything around you as a puzzle, you definitely will get there. But focus on that goal, like 10 years from today. So day one and day whatever 3,650, and you will definitely get there. I'm an example. Thank you.
Since we are a language school too, I want to ask this question that do LCI Group have any liaison with one of the language test provider in high stake testing, something like that?
Yes, absolutely. So we do have a partnership with Duolingo, so where our students can get express test results at the price of a regular test, and also at a very attractive discount. So again, so my team on the ground will be happy to provide this information.
Thank you so much, Alyona, for this wonderful podcast. I hope it addressed the students of questions. Thank you so much, Rohma Kawal, for making this happen. And thank you so much again for coming to our show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.